Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dan Gazaway, your mental performance coach. In sports, we often talk about what it takes to be a great leader. One topic of discussion that comes up about leadership is how to communicate clearly with your teammates to motivate them to become the best that they can be. And we want to do this without being overbearing or pushy, like this is my way of doing things, right? So today I want to talk about two easy principles in the area of communication that I think is going to help anybody become a better leader and communicator. So there's a powerful quote by Benjamin Disraeli, I believe, that says, "Talk to people about themselves and they will listen for hours." Think about that for a second. If you want to become a true leader, not just on the field or on the court, but off, you actually have to understand people. You have to understand the way they tick. So one of my favorite books is How to Win Friends and Influence People. You've probably heard of it before. It was written by Dale Carnegie. In the book, he breaks down the principles about building strong relationships. It's a fantastic read. He writes about earning people's trust and becoming somebody others want to follow. And I think it was written in the early 1930s, but the principles in the book are still very valuable today. So if you haven't read it, it's a classic. I highly recommend you do. A lot of people read it once a year just for those reminders. I think it's a catchy little title too, as most people want to do just that. They want to have more friends. They want to be able to influence people. Now, there are many ways to be a great leader, but I want to share a couple of things from that book that I actually feel help me, that help build your communication skills and leadership. The first one is being genuinely interested in others. He says in the book, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. I want to say that again. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. So leadership is not about getting attention. I think a lot of people think that's, especially on social media, I think that's what people think leadership is today. I think it's the opposite. It's about giving attention. For example, when you meet a teammate, don't wait to talk about yourself, like your stats, your goals, what your interests are. There's a time and a place for that, but ask them questions about their interests and goals. Find out what drives them, right? What do they care about? What excites them outside of sports? Find out what they enjoy or why they enjoy being on the team. So if somebody on your team has a hobby outside of your sport, instead of brushing it off, ask them questions about that specific hobby or whatever. If I wanted to start doing that, what would you recommend I do? That starts a good dialogue. And when you give somebody space to share what they love, what they associate how they felt when they were in your presence, right? They probably felt heard. They probably felt valued. They probably felt respected. And that's what true leadership really is. The second principle in the book I think is very valuable is give frequent praise. And I want you to think about the last time somebody praised you for a job well done. How did you feel about them afterwards, right? How did you feel about that person? You probably felt those same things, motivated. You probably felt more appreciated, encouraged. And when your teammates back you up and they recognize your effort for a job well done, what that does is makes me want to work harder, at least for me. I think back about a boss I worked with years ago who always gave me praise for a job well done. He was encouraging. He was always very genuine. It just made me want to work harder for him. His name is Mark. Well, I'll just give him a shout out. His name's Mark Walker. Mark, if you're watching, thank you, right? You're a great man. But his encouraging words every day, that alone kept me on my toes. It actually made me a better employee. And the same thing goes when your teammates back you up, they give you praise. You want to ensure you do the same thing. It's because it's not only great leadership, it creates trust with your team, something that you need. Carnegie also says all our associates are human beings and hunger for appreciation. It is the legal tender that all souls enjoy. So as an athlete leader, why don't you make praise a daily habit? When you see a teammate, for example, staying late, acknowledge that, right? When somebody hustles in practice, call it out. When your team leader or captain, maybe they handle pressure very well, tell them you appreciate them for that, what you're learning. And I think here's something important too. It's not just the players who ride the pine, which we say in baseball, or sit the bench more than they probably should, that need encouragement. Sometimes the star of your team does too. Sometimes it's the captain of your team that needs that encouragement. Sometimes the motivated one, right, in the locker room, they need it too. I think we don't assume that they have it all together. Most likely they don't either. We're all trying, right? They need the encouragement too that you can give them. So my invitation to you is practice these two great principles, being genuinely interested in others and giving frequent praise. And what you're going to find is you'll be a better leader, you're going to be a better communicator, and you'll have more followers, right? And you'll feel great about yourself. So if this resonated with you today, I want you to do two things. First, like this video, of course, and subscribe for more content on mental performance. And secondly, if you're ready to train your mind with the same intensity that you train your body, I'd love to work with you. So I want you to visit dangazaway.com, fill out the form, and let's connect to train the most important part of your game, your mindset. Thanks for watching, and we'll do it again next time.